There's no such thing as a loser who wakes up at 5 a.m. and works out.
Instinctually at 5
5:30.
Waking up at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. to work out.
But why would anyone do this?
Okay, what is it with all those productivity influencers and self-called solopreneurs waking up at 5 a.m. every day? I mean, why would one sacrifice his sleep that much? There must be something else to it, right? Cause why else would all those people tell you that? And it seems like they're all super successful in doing it. So what is their secret? That's why in this video I'll test out, if it's worth it, how to use the early hours productively and not feel completely tired throughout the day, and what the best way is to make waking up this early as comfortable as possible. To put this in context, I'm not much of an early bird. I'm usually most awake after a solid 10 to 11 hours of sleep. And over the past years, I'm proud to have changed my sleeping schedule from staying up until past midnight and then sleeping till lunch, to going to bed at around 11 p.m. and then waking up at 9 or 10 a.m. without even needing an alarm clock. And on work days, I found my sleeping rhythm from around 10:30 to 6 a.m. But that will change starting tomorrow. Now, what do I expect out of this experiment? Well, I can see the pros of this. Fewer distractions in the morning could lead to more productivity, and since you finished your work earlier, you'll have more free time in the afternoon. On the other hand, as you wake up earlier, you need to go to bed earlier to keep up a healthy amount of sleep. So that's gonna cost you a few hours in the evening, and you'll most likely still be extremely tired since your body can't get used to the new sleep schedule that fast. Whatever the benefits and consequences, I'm gonna find out if it's worth it. And since it's almost 10 p.m. already, I'll head to bed now. So, see you tomorrow at...
Saw that cut? That's how long my sleep felt like. And I feel terrible.
So what are the rules for this challenge? Number 1. No phone for the first 2 hours of the day. For that reason, I got myself this analog alarm clock, so I don't get the temptation of staying on my phone for a couple more minutes after turning off the alarm. I'm actually a bit afraid of how loud this will be, cause I don't want to wake up my neighbors as well. Rule number 2, no caffeine. I don't drink coffee anyways, but I hope I won't need an energy drink. Number 3, a proper morning routine. For that reason, I'll start the day with a 30-minute workout to get my body awake. Then have a shower, breakfast, and then head off to work. Rule number 4, bedtime at 9 p.m. And to fall asleep faster, again, no phone after 8 p.m. Because I already have a hard time falling asleep, as it often takes me up to 70 minutes. Now, my goal is to create a daily routine that hopefully doesn't contain any napping. Because taking a nap could be a huge disadvantage, as I wouldn't be able to fall asleep in the evening, which would then cost me crucial hours of sleep. Anyway, I'll get my workout in and then tell you more about what I want to find out during this experiment. Okay, so what I'm most curious about is what will my average sleep duration during this week be? And can I keep up a sleep time of 7 to 8 hours? How long can I concentrate on truly deep work without getting distracted? This usually is around 4 to 5 hours before my mind needs a break or shuts off. Or will I be completely drained and with no energy left in the afternoon? And in the end, what sacrifices did I have to make? In my quality of work, or maybe even nothing? Well, you gotta stick to the end to find that out. Okay, it's 6:30 now, so I'm gonna head to work and then see you with a quick review of the first day on the evening. Alright, day 1 of the challenge completed, and the first 2 hours of work actually felt pretty good. Overall, I would say I was about 10% more tired than on a regular day. There was a time after my breakfast break and during lunch where I would have loved to take a nap as my eyes got really heavy, but that feeling faded away eventually, so not too bad. Alright, it's almost 8 p.m. now, and that means it's time to put my phone away and get ready for bed. I'll make myself some tea and then read a bit until my eyes shut off, which I don't think would take long as I'm pretty exhausted already. So good night and see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's day 2 and it still feels like day 1. Now, I can't notice any differences right now, but I think my tiredness will only get worse throughout the day. From my past experiences, I know that the sleep deficit shows up most on day 2, but I hope that will change tomorrow and I will be less tired and more energetic for the rest of the week. Quick side story, during university I actually woke up at 5:30 and went swimming for half an hour at 6 a.m. a few times, and it did feel pretty good initially, but later during class I had to encounter the consequences as I was way more tired than usually, and I had to try and hide my micro sleep as good as I could, hoping our professor wouldn't notice. Yeah, wasn't always that successful with that though. Alright, now off to work, so see you later. Day 2 didn't feel much different. I had some minor headaches in the morning and afternoon and felt a bit less energetic, but nothing crazy. What I did notice was that I got hungry an hour earlier than usual and had to wait until my lunch break to have a bite, but I could live with that. At least I was relatively productive in the afternoon and evening to work on some upcoming videos and did not have to skip a workout. Time for bed again. I gotta say that falling asleep feels way easier than I expected, but I guess that's because I'm pretty exhausted from waking up this early. According to my watch, yesterday I fell asleep at 8:58 and had a sleep score of 97 out of 100, though I'm not really sure how accurate this is. Anyway, let's hope this night will be similar, so good night. Now, if you're wondering why I taped my mouth shut for sleep, then subscribe to the channel to not miss out on any future videos. Okay, it's day 3 now. I just finished my workout and had a shower, and I do notice some first benefits, such as not rushing and having less stress to get ready for work. Yeah, it really gives me a more calm approach to the day. And in addition to that, nobody else is awake yet, meaning no calls or messages to get distracted by. Everything is still quiet. And those things you do in the morning are all positive, such as reading, writing, exercising, or editing this YouTube video. You just don't wake up at 5 a.m. to binge watch Netflix or doom scroll TikTok. Also, I figured out a few things that you can do that make waking up super early way easier for you. I'll tell you after work, so see you then. Alright, I just came back from work and I gotta say that today was a really productive day. As long as I was doing something, I wasn't feeling tired at all. Actually, I would say that I was feeling even better than on any other day before this challenge. And that makes me really curious on how the rest of the week will go. If I can keep up the same amount of energy throughout the week as I did today, then this might be a game changer for me. Now, to the tips on how you can make getting up early more comfortable. My first tip is to try and wake up naturally instead of being torn out of sleep by a loud phone alarm. For this, you can get a cheap daylight alarm clock, or if you don't want to buy one, just do this during summer, when the sun wakes you up naturally at these earlier times instead of winter like right now, when it's all cold, dark and depressing for most of the day. So now you're awake, great! But why would you leave your cozy warm blanket behind and step out into your cold apartment? You need to reduce the friction of getting out of bed. And this can be achieved by reducing the contrast in temperature of your comfy bed and the cold room. So don't have a cold apartment. The best case is that you have a cool room when going to bed and an increased temperature when waking up. I know this can be hard to do manually, but you can also get some automated thermostats that regulate your room temperature on their own, so you don't have to worry about it every day. And as a third tip, and this also helps to achieve tip number 1, don't drastically change your sleeping pattern from one day to another. Instead, lower your wake up time every week by 15 to 20 minutes so your body can adapt better. This won't make the switch so difficult, and you can implement waking up early into a sustainable lifestyle. Day 4, and today was really difficult to find motivation to get up. But then I started to ask myself, is this lying in bed and subordinating to comfort what we humans are supposed to do?
Or are we supposed to create meaningful things rather than lie in bed all day? That got me up at least. Cause why would I prefer sleeping in when I could have the satisfaction of working towards my goals instead? So just do it. Just get out of bed.
Alright, time for my morning workout. Day 4 felt pretty similar to day 3. Working out in the morning gets me pretty awake, and that stayed like this over most of the day. Of course, I had some phases of tiredness, but these went away after around 30 minutes without having a big impact on my work. It was only around 7 PM when I felt ready to sleep. Woohoo! We made it through the week. Let's go. As hard as it felt yesterday, today felt a lot easier. But that probably is because it's the last day of this challenge. And while waking up at 5 AM felt like right in the middle of the night at the start of the week, I kinda got used to it to the point where it feels more normal now. Obviously, the pain of waking up early is still there, but I feel no difference from waking up at any other time before 8. I'm really surprised how well everything went. After the first 2 days, my body and mind already adjusted to the new sleeping schedule, and I did feel like I got more out of the day. But let me give you my complete resume once I'm back from work. Now to the points where I wanted to find out what impact waking up super early had on me. Number 1, my average sleep duration, which was 7 hours and 15 minutes. I can show you the data on the screen. And to my surprise, it stayed roughly the same as before. And this would be even better if we excluded the first night, which felt terrible. Number 2, the length of my deep work. Here, again, I would say it was about the same as before, so around 4 to 5 hours. Number 3, my energy in the afternoon, which was also fine until like 7 PM, right after dinner when the tiredness slowly set in. But at that point, most of the day was over anyways. And this often happened before this challenge as well. And number 4, could I feel any change in the quality of my work? Well, kinda, and I'll explain why in a second. But for most of the day, nothing really changed. So, are the effects really as positive as conveyed through social media? The biggest benefit that I felt was that by completing my workout straight after waking up, number 1, I started the day on a positive note, and number 2, I could use the extra time in the afternoon to be more productive, as I usually was pretty exhausted after finishing my workout after work, and then having to sit down and work on future videos was quite hard. And because of that, I was often looking for excuses to skip a workout. Now, I could easily script and edit videos in the afternoon without exhaustion and get my daily workout in. But were there any negative aspects to this? Well, I couldn't feel any. But if you're living in a shared apartment with your friends or partner, this might be more difficult for you, as you'll always be the first one to get up in the morning, likely waking up everyone else, and you'll also be the first one to go to bed in the evening, meaning that you might miss out on some time to spend together. At least I know that if I was living together with my girlfriend, she wouldn't be happy with me getting up so early. And one other thing that stood out to me was that by getting up earlier, I also got hungry earlier. Nothing bad, just something I wanted to mention. Alright, waking up at 5 AM is not for everybody. What is beneficial is constructing a set sleeping pattern with 7 to 8 hours of solid sleep and then sticking to it every day. At best, even at weekends. Then, whether it's 9 AM to 5 AM or 1 AM to 9 AM, it is less important when you wake up as long as you stick to your schedule and create a routine. This way, your body will recover and recharge your energy during your sleep more efficiently. With a set pattern, it will take less time to fall asleep and you'll be less tired in the morning. However, I have seen people having positive experiences with switching up their wake-up times. Waking up at 5 AM on, let's say, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and 7:30 on Tuesday and Thursday, as this would give you some motivation for getting up early since you can sleep longer the next day. Also, you probably shouldn't make the switch from 7 AM to 5 AM like this, but rather move your alarm by 15 minutes every 1 or 2 weeks to get to these earlier times more naturally. Or you can set your wake up time in a range of, say, 30 minutes, where you get up once you wake up naturally. That's at least what I've been doing lately. When I woke up before my alarm went off, I just got out of bed and started my day a few minutes earlier. Now, will I continue waking up at 5 AM every day? Well, I think I might do it for a couple more weeks to see if I can keep up the positive effects long term. If you want to see a follow-up video, then let me know down in the comments and subscribe to the channel, as I'll be putting out new content every week. But I want you to always keep one thing in mind. Sleep has the biggest impact on your health and should thereby always be a #1 priority. So if you're not a morning person, then don't try to be one.